Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga. Welcome. This is Power Hour Yoga. This is a 60-minute power Vinyasa yoga practice. We are going to be moving with breath. So I was thinking of what could we do today. So I have created a class that I've called Lots of Trees. That's it, lots of trees. So our featured pose, of course, is tree pose. But just the way that we get into tree pose, and I'm sure you're familiar with tree pose, there's different postures that resemble tree pose. And so we'll be going through a practice that will do lots of trees. So for your props today, you probably don't need too many things, but I am going to recommend that you grab a block or two. One will be fine. It could even be a pillow, like a small cushion from your sofa, just a throw pillow, something like that. And that's about it. That's all you'll really need for this practice. Okay, roll out your yoga mat. We'll go ahead and get started. So go ahead and start standing in the mountain pose. Just standing with your feet about hip distance apart, toes pointing forward, just to establish a good alignment and balance, mainly through the lower half of the body. And then with your upper half, just feel a nice lengthening of your spine, so make sure you're standing up nice and tall, and just gently roll your shoulders back and down. You can even just let your arms relax down by your side. And we'll hold here for a few moments as we prepare for our practice. You might start with a few deep breaths. You can breathe in through your nose. You can exhale through your nose or out through your mouth. Just a couple times like that. Just nice, deep, cleansing breaths. And then just settle into slow, steady breathing. Establishing the connection to self. Arriving in the moment so that you are more present, aware, and connected. Again, just slow, steady breaths. You want to breathe in a way that you can feel your breath. So perhaps feeling your breath rising upward to really feel your lungs expand. Then as you exhale, you want to draw your belly inward towards your spine. It's a light contraction of your abdominal muscles. And this, of course, is going to help us with tree pose. Tree pose, of course, is a balancing posture. And so just engaging our core center does help with balance. So again, an inhale just to feel the lengthening of your spine. Feel your breath rising upward to fill up your lungs. Exhale, connecting to your center, navel drawing inward. And just take a couple more breaths like that. 2 more. And ready to move with breath. Inhale, extend your arms into the air. Just reach and stretch, nice and long and tall. Exhale, let's fold forward. So a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And just take your time as you make your way down to your toes. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs, perhaps to your shins or knees, to extend your spine. You're only rising up halfway, so you're flat like a table. As you exhale, just slowly fold back down. Now you can just partially fold, not needing to touch your toes or the ground, or just put a little bit more bend in your knees and just fold a little deeper. You can certainly hang heavily forward here. And while you're in forward fold, you can do several things. You can just hold in stillness if you'd like, or just a little sway of your upper body left and right just to release your low back and hips a bit. Feel the natural curvature in your spine. Head is heavy, but you want to feel it being loose. So maybe shake your head yes and no. Even a little roll of your shoulders if you like. And then from here, shifting your weight back into your heels, bend your knees, feel like you're going to sit down into a low chair. Look forward or look up a little bit to extend your spine. Then inhale, stand up all the way, reaching into the air for extended mountain pose. Again, reaching high. Exhale, bring your arms down by your side. Back to mountain pose. Hold for a moment, take a breath. Let's do that same sequence again. That's our half salute to the sun. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. Another big stretch. Exhale, folding forward, keeping your knees soft, bent, and rounding your spine as you come all the way down. Inhale, rise up halfway to re-extend your spine. A long, flat back. Exhale, fold again, make your way down towards toes. Just a brief pause this time. Go heavy if you can. And then shifting weight back into your heels, bend your knees, look forward. And then inhale, rising up all the way, reversing the swan dive, coming all the way back up, reaching high, good energy through your fingertips. Exhale, return your arms down by your side. Hold here in stillness. Take a couple of breaths. Very nice. All right, let's go ahead and continue with our sun salutation, starting with series A. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. Another long stretch. Exhale, fold forward, taking your time. Making your way down towards toes. Then inhale, rise up halfway, leading through the crown of your head to extend your spine and torso. Exhale, bend your knees, let your back round, getting low enough so you can place your hands on the mat in front of your feet. Step or walk both of your feet back to the back end of your mat until you're in plank pose. Let's hold here for several breaths, just so we can establish a strength here in the upper body. But don't rely too much on just the upper body. Make sure your hips and your legs are also active here too. So just let your hips lift a little bit. Even feel like your hamstrings and calves are lifting up into the air. This way you start to feel more of an even distribution of weight throughout the body, so you don't feel too heavy in your upper body or even just your hands. Let's take a breath in. Exhale, bend your knees a little, then send your hips up into the air, and that should guide you into downward facing dog. We just took a shortcut to get there. And then maybe adjust your feet a little, perhaps your hands. I like to take my hands a little wider in down dog. Keeping the knees soft, a good bend in the knees. That will allow your hips to be a little bit more mobile, setting them a little higher up into the air, while your hands press firmly into the floor. That will create that nice extension throughout your whole back body. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Then we get ready to move. Take another full breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale to extend your spine. Exhale, fold. And our weight shift into the heels. Bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come up to standing, reaching into the air. And exhale, arms back down by your side. Very nice. Just pause here for a moment. Take a couple of breaths. All right, so that was series A. Let's continue with series B. Whenever you're ready, inhale, extend your arms into the air. Exhale, take chair pose or a chair-like position as if you're sitting back into a seat that's behind you. Once you're in your seat, inhale, extend your arms, reaching. Then exhale, diving out of your seat towards your toes for forward fold. Inhale, rising to extend your spine, just leading through the crown of your head. Exhale, bend your knees, let your back round, hands to the mat, walk, step, or even hop both feet back into plank pose. Again, we'll pause here in plank for a few moments. Lifted hips, feel the hamstrings and calves engaged. Just feel like they're lifting up into the air. Even while they're still feeling like they're lifting up, you're going to inhale and exhale, bend elbows and lower your way down. With that same imagined idea that you're being lifted into the air as well as you're going down. Inhale, pressing hands into the floor, straightening your arms, looking forward, creating a back bend in upward facing dog. Then exhale onto your toes, lifting hips into the air, downward facing dog. Just make your adjustments here as you arrive. And we're going to continue with a lunge. Inhale, extend your right leg up behind you, reaching long out back behind you. And exhale, right foot to the top of the mat, landing near right hand. Turning left heel to the floor behind you. Be sure you shift your weight back into that foot so it's firmly planted into the ground and it's sturdy and strong. Then extend your torso long out over your right thigh. Then you'll hinge from your hips with an inhale, rising up to face forward and reaching up into the air. That's Warrior One. Exhale, hinge and fold. Bring your hands back down to the floor in front. Let's step back into plank pose. Let's move right away. Bend elbows. Squeeze them in towards your ribs. You're lowering down but feeling like you're being lifted up at the same time. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, tuck toes, lifting knees, then hips, downward facing dog. Make your adjustments to settle into your posture. Then inhale, extending left leg up and back, reaching long. Good energy in that left leg. Exhale, left foot steps up to the top of the mat. We'll turn right heel to the ground behind you. Firmly connected to the floor, long torso out over left thigh. When you're ready, inhale, hinge from hips, rising up, reaching into the air, both arms. And exhale, hinge to fold. Bring your hands back down to the ground. Step back into plank pose. Finish the sequence. Come down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Nice long legs and pointed toes behind you. Exhale, downward facing dog.
Pause for a moment, make your adjustments, hold for a few seconds in down dog. Let's make our way down to the floor. You can just kneel down right here, taking a seat back towards heels, holding briefly in hero, and then just sit off to the side here. Swing the legs around to the front, sitting in the center of your mat, and go ahead and roll down onto your back. You're going to lie down with your knees bent, feet flat on the ground. We're getting ready for bridge pose. Before we lift our hips up into the air, just lie comfortably. Take a couple deep breaths, let your body settle into the ground. Just disengaging for a few moments before we reactivate the body. All right, let's get ready to move. Go ahead and inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty your belly, engaging the belly, lifting hips up into the air. Right there. And then as you're able, let's get the arms and shoulders a bit underneath you, if you can, squeezing shoulder blades together underneath you to engage the upper back muscles, to engage and lift and hold you in place. You can even bend your arms at 90 degrees, pressing down into the ground with the backs of your arms. That too should help you to stabilize and hold your posture. It might even allow you to lift a little higher. Of course, your feet are firmly planted into the floor, lifting your hips. Feel the energy and strength in your thighs. This is also firing up the hamstrings, your glutes. So it's a very active pose. Okay, we're not going to be here too much longer. Just go ahead and wiggle your toes forward a little bit. Reach your arms straight up into the air. Now we've made space to slowly and carefully roll back down to the ground. Go ahead and hug both knees into chest. Start to rock forward and back. Reconnect to your breath. And with a good exhale, generating energy, rock your way up to seated so we can come to boat pose. So of course we're seated, but the spine is long, but you're leaning back. That way you can float the feet up into the air like so. Maybe flex the feet so the legs stay active. Maybe your shins are parallel to the floor. Knees can stay bent, holding onto the bent knees here with your hands to help you lift and extend the spine. You can always release the legs, let your hands go free. You can even extend your legs if you want to. So lots of variations of boat pose. I typically go here. It's just a nice go-to place. All right, we're going to inhale, get ready to move. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Hold. Feel the back body lifting up into the air so you feel some lightness. Let's take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. We'll continue with our lunges. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reaching long. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat, near right hand. Left heel turns to the floor. Good connection. Long torso. Here we go. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. And our exhale here to warrior two. So turning your torso towards the left side of the room, arms come down to parallel. And maybe going a little wider with your stance. Nice deep lunge, tall, long torso here, outstretched arms right here. A few more breaths in this posture, just paying attention to the right inner thigh, right through here, because a lot of the postures that we're doing that are resembling tree pose actually are hip openers. Okay, let's go a little deeper. So side angle pose, reaching forward to angle the upper half of your body. Rotate the arms so your right hand's reaching down and left hand's reaching straight up. Nice opening here too. Lunging a little deeper, a little bit more sensation in the body. And then we'll breathe in, ready to move. Exhale, we'll turn towards the floor, fold and bend so you can bring your hands back down to the ground. Let's step back into plank pose, but keep the right foot lifted. Just a few inches off the floor. It doesn't have to lift high. And it's really still feeling the back body, your whole back side being lifted into the air. And go ahead and set the right foot down. Take a shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees, lifting hips into the sky. Downward facing dog. Other side lunging. Inhale, extend left leg up behind you, reaching long through the foot. Exhale, stepping through, left foot to the top of the mat, right heel turns to the floor behind you. Make sure your spine is nice and long. Hinge your way up. Inhale, facing forward, reaching into the sky. Exhale, turn torso towards the right side of the room. Arms come down to parallel. Let's adjust the feet if you need to. Again, I'm going to go a little wider. Lunge a little deeper, get into this left inner thigh. Just engaging that nice hip opener, getting prepared for our other poses. Then side angle pose, reaching forward, angled upper body, rotate the arm, so while left hand's reaching down towards the ground, it could even touch the ground if you want, or your stacked blocks. Go ahead and reach the right hand up into the air. A few more breaths. And we'll inhale here. Exhale, turn. Let's bring the hands down to the ground and step back into plank pose. But keeping left foot lifted just a few inches off the ground. Like 4 or 5 inches, not very high at all. But since it's lifted, just reaching back energetically to the wall behind you. Set the toes on the ground. Shortcut to down dog. With a good exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Stay on your feet. Inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, fold. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Coming up to standing, reaching into the air. Exhale, arms down by your side. Alrighty, very good. Get a sip of water if you'd like. I'm just going to adjust my mat. Let's go ahead and get ready for our first tree pose. So we're doing lots of trees. Let's begin with tree pose. And as I get into tree pose, I'm going to show you some variations of tree pose, okay? So we want to start by really ensuring we've got balance on 2 feet. Even though we're going to be balancing on 1 foot, feel balanced on 2 feet. So an even distribution of weight, left and right here, solid, strong. A breath to establish that connection. Start to shift your weight a bit towards right foot. Press down firmly into the floor with the right foot. As you now inhale, feel the lengthening of your spine, fill up the lungs. As the exhale, draw belly in. This should allow you to lift your left foot up off the floor, flexing the foot, thigh parallel to the ground. Here's the hip opener. The knee just swings open and starts to point to the left side of the room. Hips are still square, facing forward. Now, you could place the foot on the floor. You can see I've just kind of flexed the foot there so your toes are on the ground, but the heel is actually just against the leg here, just above the ankle bone. That's if you just need a little extra balancing right here, a little extra stability. I always default to my calf, so just below the knee. And it's nice to go either below the knee or above the knee. Not so much against the knee because that puts too much pressure or could put too much pressure on the knee joint. You can certainly bring the foot to inner thigh right there. And there you can even press more firmly into the large muscle right there. I want to go back to calf, then go ahead and inhale, take the arms up into the air and get that lifting sensation. Feel light as the branches grow high into the sky. Crown of head is feeling lifted up towards the ceiling as well. Right foot's rooted into the earth like the roots of a tree. Left knee pointing to the side. Let's keep the arms extended. We'll swing left knee forward, lifting knee with the flexed foot. Plant the foot back down into the ground, establishing balance on 2 feet as your arms come back down by your side. Even roll out the shoulders. Just kind of shake that out. Make sure you're still balanced on 2 feet, and we'll get ready for the second side. Start shifting weight over into left foot. Root down strongly. Even feel the leg engaged. That's your strong standing leg. Inhale, feel breath rising to fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage your center. And peeling right foot up off the ground. Flexed foot, thigh parallel to the floor. Here's the hip opener, knee swings open, hips are square facing forward. Again, foot can be on the ground, heel up against the leg above the ankle bone. Calf muscle below the knee or above the knee, pressing firmly into inner thigh. I'm going to see if I can keep mine right there. Then inhale, take the arms up into the air, reach, lift. That lifting sensation is really getting the torso nice and long and lifted and light, so it's lifting out of the pelvic bowl, creating a little bit more space in the belt line, which may even help open the hip. Lots of pressure of this foot pressing into the inner thigh. At the same time, the inner thigh is pressing back into the foot, so you maintain the sense of balance and centering. All right, let's keep the arms extended.
I'm going to slide my foot down and then swing knee forward, lifting knee, flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground, arms come back down by your side. Shake it out. That was a lot of time just balancing on one foot, so you might want to just kind of stretch the toes there, shake out the ankles a little bit. All right, so that's our first tree pose. Let's keep on moving. Back to mountain, ready to flow. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward, hinging at the hips, soft knees. Inhale, extending spine, monkey pose. Exhale, bent knees all the way down, hands to the mat. Walk or step back, plank pose. Once you're there, bend elbows, come down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Make your adjustments as you arrive. Let's inhale, extend right leg up into the air. Hold on the exhale, feel the extension. Let's bend this knee. Bring the right knee, or bend the right knee. Bring your heel down towards backside. A little lift of the knee, or really just feel like your knee is actually pointing to the right side of the room. Want to try a tree pose here? Try placing your right foot on your left calf, or to inner left thigh, if you can lift that high. Mine's just at my calf, but the knee is pointing to the side of the room. Here's another tree. Okay, go ahead and re-extend the right leg straight up and back behind you. Warrior one, right foot to the top of the mat, left heel plants into the floor. Extended torso. Inhale, rising up, warrior one. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Let's lunge a little deeper. Side angle pose when you're ready, reaching out. Rotate the arms, right hand down, left hand up. Breathe in. Exhale, turn, bring the hands to the floor. Let's step back into plank pose, right foot lifted, hold. Let's try another tree pose. You're going to place the right foot on the inside of the left leg. Now, gravity's going to want to drop or pull the knee towards the ground. You'll have to really work hard to lift the knee so it's pointing to the side of the room. We're going to call this fallen tree. Just step back into a regular plank pose. Let's take a little break. Bring the knees to the ground. Sit back into hero, just so we can get the pressure off of the hands here, okay? We're going to do a couple things here. First, just hero, so it just gets a lengthening and stretch quality in the tops of the feet or near the ankles. A little stretch and release around the knees. Now come out to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under and just carefully sit back. Same thing. Now we're just kind of stretching the toes and feet in a different way. Hands can stay in front here on the floor. Feel that stretch. Okay? We're doing these on purpose. 2 more breaths. Then come back out to hands and knees. Toes are already tucked, so just lift the knees. Downward facing dog. Just make some adjustments. Other side. Inhale, extend left leg up into the air. Hold on the exhale. Get nice and long here. Bend the knee. Bring the heel down towards backside. Lifting the knee towards ceiling, but feel the knee really just pointing to the left side of the room. Bring the foot down and just place it against the inside of the right leg, keeping the knee pointing to the side of the room. It feels very awkward, I know, but just see if you can allow this to occur here. You're going to re-extend the left leg straight up and back. Left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Right heel turns to the floor, extending torso. Inhale, hinge from hips, rising up, warrior one. Reach into the sky. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Quick adjustments here. Side angle pose. Reaching out, rotate the arms. Reach up, reach down. Inhale here. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose, left foot lifted. Fallen tree, so left foot. Just place it lightly on the inside of the right leg, lifting the knee so you can get it to point mostly to the left side of the room. Hold. Okay, back to a regular plank pose, both feet on the ground. Another little break, bring knees to the floor. Sit back, hero. We're just going to do the exact same thing we just did. Sit back for the stretch through the knees and thighs, down through the calves, your shins and ankles.
And then bring hands to the front here so you can tuck toes under and sit back gently, carefully for the toes stretch in the bottoms of the feet. Very good. All right. Sit back briefly into a regular hero just so you can sit off to the side onto the ground. Let's swing the legs around to the front here. Okay, and just keep the legs extended right there. Stay where you are. I'm just going to adjust my mat. So we're going to start here with staff pose. So the legs are straight here, and flex the feet so the legs stay straight and strong. Hands are on the floor by your hips. Just push into the ground to help you extend your spine. You might even roll the shoulders back. Again, squeezing shoulder blades together behind you, engaging upper back muscles. And with the exhale, don't forget drawing belly in to engage the low belly muscles. Nice active posture in this L shape or 90-degree angled pose. A couple deep breaths. Very nice. All right, just soften a little bit. All right, let's do our next tree pose. So we're just going to bend the left knee, bring the left foot to the inside of your right leg. So if you can, to inner right thigh. If that's too much for the knee, slide it down. It could be near the knee or near your calf or shin down here. I'm going to keep it here. Now if this leg doesn't touch the ground, because it doesn't have to touch the ground, this is where you want to use that one block or a cushion, a little pillow, or even a towel, and just tuck it underneath the knee if you want. Okay? Just make sure you're still sitting up nice and tall. Square as can be. Hips are square facing forward, just like tree pose when we're standing, right? Nice flexed foot to keep the legs strong. Hands are somewhere on the floor, because that's going to help you to maintain length in the torso. Inhale here. Exhale, start to hinge forward out towards the foot. Even feel like you're sending your heart or chin out towards your toes. I'm calling this, this class, lots of trees. And so this is a pose that kind of resembles the tree posture when we're standing, but this, of course, has its own name. So this is head to knee pose, or Janusz Asana, head to knee pose. So it's nice because you get a lot of things happening all at once. It's a great hamstring stretch. If you need to, you can always soften or bend this right knee. Okay, so you get a hamstring stretch on the right leg. The left leg, because of the formation, getting a hip opener. Okay, you're also potentially getting a nice stretch through your back, especially if your back is rounded here. All right, 2 more breaths. Using your hands to help lift yourself back up until you're nice and long through the spine. Okay, I'm just going to lift this left knee and re-extend the leg. Okay, and just resit. I like to just kind of resit, just to get the sits bones and hips nice and square and connected to the ground easily. Back to our staff pose for a breath or two, just to reestablish balance. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and do our Janusz Asana, or head to knee pose, other side. So we're bending the right knee, bring this right foot to the inner left thigh. Again, I'm just kind of resitting a little bit. Use a cushion or a block on that right knee if you need to. Nice straight left leg, flex the foot to keep it strong. Hands on the floor to help you lift and extend through spine. Inhale. Exhale, hinge forward, leading your heart and chin forward out towards your toes. Sometimes I like to nickname this pose head or heart to toes pose. Heart to toes pose, rather than head to knee pose. But it's okay if the back does round here. Notice all these sensations: hip opener on the right leg, hamstring stretch on the left leg, curved, stretched spine and back muscles because of the curvature of the spine. Let's hold for a few more breaths. Two more. And then just make your way back up, helping to re-extend the spine. Let's lift this right knee, re-extend the leg. bend the knees, start to lean back, just moving back into boat pose. So just bend the knees, lean back until you can easily lift the feet. Long spine, holding for a couple breaths here. And let's flow. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back into plank pose. Here you're going to do what I call a partial push-up. So you're going to bend the elbows just a little, as if you're going to go down for that push-up or chaturanga, but push away into down dog. Okay, let's inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist. Knee is pointing to the right side of the room. Keep the knee bent, but bring right foot to the inner left leg. Keep it there, but then shift your body forward into plank pose or our fallen tree. So the right knee is still pointing to the right side of the room. Long spine. Okay? Partial push-ups will bend elbows a little, push away. Down dog, re-extend the right leg up and back behind you. Right foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Rising here. Exhale, opening warrior two. Side angle pose. If you like, we're even extending left hand overhead reach. And then we'll turn, bring hands to the floor. Let's step back into plank pose. Come all the way down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, same thing other side. So you're going to inhale, extend left leg up. Bend and twist. Knee is mostly pointing to the left side of the room. Get the hip opener. Bring foot down to the inner right leg. Again, knee is pointing to the left side of the room. Shifting whole body so you're in plank pose or fallen tree. Keep that knee lifted. Partial push up to down dog. Re-extending the left leg up and back. Left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Rising when you're ready. Exhale, open, warrior two. Side angle pose. Left hand down, right hand up, and maybe over your head to get that right side body stretch feeling. Breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose, come on down. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going back down to the ground. So you can hop forward, cross your legs, and take a seat. Find the center of your mat. Go ahead and roll down onto your back again. Let's do the same setup where we're lying down, knees bent, feet flat on the ground, soften the body, disengage. Because what we've done so far is quite a bit of work, especially those partial push-ups, the fallen tree poses, a lot of upper body action, core strength. So just a moment to relax. Alrighty. So you want to align the heels so they're directly in front of your glutes, or feet are hip distance apart. And your shins are straight up and down, okay, straight lines. And hopefully the knees, you can't see them, but you want to sense that your knees are right over your heels or ankle bones. All right, now pick up the left foot. You're going to cross your left ankle over right thigh. So again, your left knee is going to be pointing to the left side of the room, so kind of like a tree pose. Now you might need to kind of scoot your right foot more towards center. Okay, perhaps in the same alignment as your tailbone. Okay, so this left leg is crossed, knee is pointing to the left side, flex the left foot just so it stays active. Okay, here comes the work. Alrighty, I want to suggest, let's see if this works. You're going to bend your elbows at 90 degrees. With a good exhale, press your right foot and the backs of your arms into the ground so you can lift your hips up into the air. Okay, so we've lifted, the leg is already crossed, and if you kind of put some action of like you're sending the leg, this left leg, towards the floor, it opens the hip. Does that make sense? So the left knee is pointing to the left side of the room, but there's an action of feeling like you're trying to draw the left knee down towards the ground. Now we're going to uncross this leg and extend this left leg up into the air. And we're going to keep the leg extended, but just sit down. Bring the hips down. Slowly, very slowly, Bring the left leg all the way down to the ground. You can bring your arms down too. Left leg comes down, and look, we're going to create one more tree. Let the right knee just wilt to the right side of the room. And your right foot is probably against the left inner thigh. So you're just lying flat like Shavasana, but you've created that same tree pose. Okay, now you're just doing it lying down. Told you, lots of trees. One more breath, so you can just treat this as a nice relaxation posture. All right, let's bring the right knee up, bend the left knee. So back to the original position, lying flat on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Now, let's cross right ankle over left thigh. Right knee is now pointing to the right side of the room. Flex that right foot. Kind of wiggle the left foot so it's a little bit more center. Maybe bend elbows. With a good exhale, press foot and arms into this floor to lift your hips up into the air. So it is a bridge pose per se, but we've added some changes to it because we have this leg crossed. Same action of feeling like your knee is being drawn down, or a slight push down sensation towards the floor so you can get that hip opening. At the same time, you're trying to lift your hips up into the air. Hopefully that makes sense and you can feel this. All right, so extend the right leg straight up into the air. Sit down, bring your backside down to the floor. You can bring your arms down as well. And then slowly, under control, this right leg comes down to the ground. And then the left knee just wilts down to the floor too. And there's our reclining tree pose, we'll call it. Couple breaths, just relax. Good. Go ahead and just take a quick Shavasana, meaning you're just extending the left leg out in front to meet the other. We're not staying here long at all. Hug both knees into chest. Start to rock forward and back. And rock your way up to seated. Boat pose. Couple breaths here. Good, we'll inhale. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Stay in plank. Let's do another partial push-up to downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Stay on your feet in forward fold. Even hold the fold for a moment, since you just came out of a couple back bends. And then a weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Coming up, reaching into the sky. Exhale, arms down by your side. Excellent. All right, let's go back to the original tree pose. Nice and tall here, establish your balance. Shifting weight into right foot, root down into the floor. Long spine, lifting up, breathe in. Exhale, lifting left foot. Here's the hip opener, swing it out. Plug it in, high, middle, or low. Inhale, take the arms up into the air. Reach and hold. Let's see if we can hold this a little bit longer. So what can help with this is certainly the energy of reaching into the sky, breathing for sure, so the breath is rising to fill up your lungs, the exhale to engage belly, so pull it in. But also your gaze, what you're looking at. Look at something directly in front of you, or even just dart your eyes down and look at something lower towards the ground. Keep your arms in the air. Let's swing the left knee forward, lifting knee, flexed foot. Plant the foot down into the ground, rooted and connected, arms down by your side. Shake out those shoulders. Okay, other side. Shifting weight into left foot, press. Breathe in, fill up the lungs, exhale, engage center. Floating right foot up, flexed foot, thigh parallel. Swing it open, hip opener. Placing foot somewhere on the inside of your standing leg, maybe avoiding the knee. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, core connected. The abdominal lock, draw belly in. Let's hold. Find something to focus on. We call that drishti. Focusing on something out in front of you. Breathing. Lots of energy in the posture. Let's keep the arms extended. Swing right knee forward, lifting knee, flexed foot. Plant the foot, arms back down.
Shake it all out. Good job. All righty. Let's get into the sequence again. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, fold and bend, hands to the floor. Hop or step back, plank pose. Come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up. Bend and twist. Bring foot to the inner left leg. Shift forward, fallen tree or plank pose. Fallen tree, make sure right knee is pointing to the side of the room. Partial push up to down dog. Re-extend leg up into the air. Warrior one. Right foot to the top of the mat, left heel plants. Extended spine. Rising here. Exhale, opening warrior two. Side angle pose. Rotate the arms, right hand down, left hand up and over your head. Reach and stretch. Inhale. Exhale, turn. Let's bring the hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Other side. Inhale, extend left leg up. Bend and twist. Knee is lifting and pointing to the left side of the room. Bring left foot to the inner right leg. Just a little touch is fine. Shifting forward, fallen tree, left knee pointing. Make sure it's lifted and pointing to the left side. Partial push up, downward facing dog. Re-extend left leg up. Left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Rising high here. Opening warrior two. Side angle is just a nice basic flow here. Right hand up and over, reach and stretch. Turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Come on down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a nice full breath in. Exhale, walk, step or hop, both feet up to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, extend spine. Fold here. Reverse your swan dive, coming all the way up, reaching into the sky. Arms back down by your side. Very nice. So that's the majority of the sequence. We are doing it again. I'm just going to change it up just a little bit and we're going to add on to it, okay? All right, we are going to start in tree pose. And from tree pose, we're going to step back into a high lunge, okay? So right foot stays rooted into the floor. You get your breathing going. Fill up the lungs, engage your core, lifting left foot. Swing it out, plug it in. Inhale, reaching arms into the sky. Tree pose. Okay. Keep arms extended. Swing left knee forward, lifting knee, flexed foot. You're going to bend the right knee a little bit. Start to hinge forward, really extending actively out through the arms so you can step back with the left foot. Landing into high lunge. Opening warrior two. Let's reverse the warrior here. Right hand reaching up into the air. Windmill. Bring the hands down to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. So right leg sweeps back and up into the air, bend and twist. Right foot to inner left leg, shifting immediately to plank pose or fallen tree. Partial push up. Downward facing dog, right leg re-extends up into the air. Right foot to the top of the mat, warrior one this time. Rising up. Exhale, open warrior two, side angle. Okay, right hand down, left hand up and overhead. Inhale. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose, come down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Listen carefully. We're going to take a seat, hop forward, cross legs, take a seat. Roll down onto your back, bring knees to chest. Set feet down. Cross left ankle over right thigh. Adjust the right foot towards more center. Inhale, fill up the lungs. Exhale, press into the floor with your right foot, maybe the backs of your arms, so you can lift into our bridge pose with the leg crossed. Remember, left knee is pointing to the left side of the room, but feeling like it's being drawn down towards the ground while hips lift to get the hip opener. Extend the left leg up into the air. Sit down. Bring the arms down. Slowly bring left leg down in a straight line, just bringing it down.
Let that right knee wilt to the right side. Reclining tree. We're still not done. Extend the right leg so you're in Shavasana. Bring both knees into chest. Rock your way up to seated, quick boat. Set the heels down. You might need to scoot back a little bit. Extend the legs out front. Head to knee pose. Still bending the left knee. Bringing foot to inner thigh. Adjust your seat if you need to. Inhale, nicely extended spine. Exhale, fold, hinge. Yes. We're going to add on to this. Okay, because there's several versions of Janusz Asana, or head to knee pose. This is version A. We're going to try out version B. You're going to rise back up. So what you're going to do is basically you're going to be sitting on your heel or your foot, okay? So what I'm going to do, you can even just watch me. I'm going to lift my whole body, scoot forward, so I'm actually sitting right on top of the foot, okay? So my heel is just right at the perineum, okay? Right there. So it puts pressure kind of in that root chakra spot. So I'm sitting on the foot. We're getting that kind of like hero pose, sitting on the top of the foot here. And then again, hinging forward. Just to establish a different version of this particular posture. 2 more breaths. Nice stretch here too. We're rising back up. Use your hands to help it re-extend spine lift so you can sit back off of the heel. Back to boat pose. Bring that left knee in, bend the right knee, lean back, lift the feet. Inhale. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Let's take a partial push up to down dog. Nice re-extended spine here. Jump, step, or walk, both feet up to the top of the mat. Stay on your feet. Inhale, extending spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come to standing, reaching into the air. Exhale, arms down by your side. Tree pose, other side. Shifting weight into left foot. Nice long spine, core engaged. Floating right foot up, swing it to the side. Placing foot on the inside of the standing leg, knee pointing to the right side of the room, of course. Arms reach into the sky, breathing, holding briefly. Keeping arms extended, swing right knee forward, lifting knee with the flexed foot. Bend the left knee, hinge forward a bit, extending out through the arms, extending right leg back behind you, stepping down to land on your toes, high lunge. Opening warrior 2. Reverse the warrior, left hand reaching up and behind you slightly. Big windmill to bring the hands down to the floor. Step back into down dog so your left foot will sweep back and up into the air. Bend and twist. Left foot to the inner right leg, shifting forward. Partial push up. Down dog, left leg extends. Left foot to the top of mat, warrior 1. Right heel plants, reaching high. Warrior 2. Side angle pose this time. Right hand reaching up and over. Breathe in. Exhale, turn hands to the floor. Step back, plank, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to lie down again. Hop forward, cross legs, take a seat. Roll down onto your back, knees to chest. Feet to the floor. Let's cross right ankle over left thigh, flexed foot, right knee pointing to the side of the room. Getting that left foot to center, bend elbows, exhaling to press, lift hips into the air, bridge pose variation. Hips are lifting, right knee feels like it's going down. Feel the hip release. Extending right leg up into the air, reach, sit down. Bring your arms down, slowly, slowly bringing the straight right leg down to the floor. Left knee wilts to the left side. Reclining tree. Hold, relax. Extending the left leg, a brief Shavasana. Bring knees to chest, both knees. Rock your way up to a quick boat. Bring the heels down, straight legs. Janusz Asana, bend the right knee, bring it in. Inner thigh. Nice extended spine. Inhale, exhale, hinge and fold. So this is Janusz Asana A, and we're going to do version B, where we sit on the foot. Now, if that doesn't feel quite right for you, you can just do a second time through version A. I'm going to rise back up here. Lift my body, scoot forward. So I'm just sitting on the heel, right at the perineum or the center of your body, right at that root chakra. Inhale, nice extended spine. Exhale, hinge and fold. Now for me, I feel like I get a little bit more into the hamstring stretch because of this variation. Just notice how this feels for you. And remember, if this is too much pressure on the foot you're sitting on, you can just sit back and just return to the first version. That's fine too. 2 more breaths. And then we're going to lift, sit back off of that heel. Bring that right knee in, bend the left knee. Let's come back to a boat pose. Just briefly here. A couple more breaths. Bring the feet to the floor. That's it. A lot of trees. Go ahead and lie down. Hug the knees in. Maybe some circles here. Just to massage the low back, your hips, your spine. Even give the feet a little circle here. I'm kind of making a figure 8 shape with the rocking of the hips. And then happy baby pose, or just another hip opener that feels good at this moment. So I'm taking the legs wide. I'm going to take feet up into the air, holding on to the soles of the feet, pressing down gently. Once again, getting into the inner thighs. And then a reclining cobbler's pose or bound angle pose, pressing the soles of the feet together, set the feet down onto the floor, and the knees just opening up naturally to either side of the room, relaxing here. Checking in with your breath, noticing how you're feeling. A lot of movement in that series. And all those variations of tree pose. Lots of trees. Let's take 2 more breaths in this reclining bound angle pose. And then you can slowly bring the knees together, give yourself another hug. And then from here you can take your twist. So send both knees over to the left side as you extend your right arm off to the right side. And let's go ahead and bring the knees back up to center. Pause here for a moment. And then knees down to the right side. Left arm extends off to the left. Deep breathing here. And when you're ready, just return to center, perhaps one more hug, and then just go ahead and make your way into Shavasana, extending your legs out front. This is the real Shavasana now. Arms down by your side. Maybe a nice full breath in, fill up your entire body. And a complete exhale as you melt into the ground. Just settle in. You've made it to the end. Slow, deep breaths. Close your eyes if you like. Or if your eyes are open, just gazing upward. Settling in. Still and quiet. Keep tuning into your breath. Make sure there's just slow, steady breaths. You can still hear the breathing. And maybe still feel the breath as it moves through you, even though you're very relaxed here. And as always, you're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Even as I end the practice and come up to seated, you can stay in this lying down position, continuing your Shavasana practice. And whenever you feel like it's time to move, start with breath. So taking 5 slow, deep breaths. Once again, filling up your whole body. This new energy. Feeling movement return to your body. And there's certainly no rush to move, but sometime after your 5th breath, you can easily feel movement returning to your body. Go ahead and roll onto either side of your body into a nurturing pose. Just hold here for a breath or two if you like. And then still moving in slow motion, guide your way up to seated, taking your time. You can even keep your eyes closed here. Find a comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall, extended spine. Nice relaxed shoulders and arms, hands resting in your lap. Finding stillness. Take a breath. And then one more movement together. Inhale, extend your arms up into the air. Stillness. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.